What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of the LZ Show. This is my podcast. So, what I want to get into, right, is a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and blah 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 blah. It's like, no, I'm just saying. I wanna go over my tracks. You know what I mean? Just talk about it, man. Cause I'm seeing examples of other artists, and one of the good things to do to promote your channel is just to elongate whatever content one has about oneself and just expand on it. So, I mean, you all know about my album and the tracks and stuff like that, and I already posted up articles, summaries and this and that. But like I said, it's about emphasizing or elongating, just talking as much as one can about one's own content. So what I'm gonna do is go over each track and talk about it, just because I could do that. It's my music, you know what I mean? So let's start with I should have done this with my earlier albums, but every album is a learning process. A lot of things that happened on this one was just unplanned, unrehearsed, and unexpected. But without further ado, here I go. So, first track was called Trip to Cali. So, how did this come about? What am I saying? Well, as I mentioned before, all these tracks, except for maybe one, which was New Age Mindset, which I'll get into later after the other ones, but every other track I pretty much did in prison, California. So, while I was over there, I just felt like expressing my artistic nature. So that's how about that. That's So basically, without having to say so much, right? Trip to Cali was just about me taking a trip to Cali and explaining as best as I can, without degrading too much of their culture, which I've done, but I didn't like. It was organic, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I had something against them, It's organic, you treat me like such, I'll treat you back like such, eye for an eye, I don't know, teeth for a tooth, old school shit. But anyway, I was just expressing myself. So I just get into the lyrics, right? So in my song Trip to Cali, I said, what up, Cali? Me chillin', just smoking a fatty, reppin' the east, checking your valleys, loving the chicks, fucking in alleys. Had a few Tammys along with a few Ashleys. All this unraveling got me like a soldier at ease. Now, it's pretty simple, right? I'm in Cali, smoking a fatty, loving them chicks, fucking in alleys, reppin' the east, checking your valleys. So I was checking their valleys. I was in the West Coast checking their valleys, which is nice areas and shit. I'm in alleyways, and I actually did, do what I said. And I don't remember their names, but I just mentioned names just to match with the alley valley part. So I said Tammy and Ashley, but really I didn't really remember the hoes' names, because I was just wild and reckless at that time. And I wasn't thinking much, about their name. I was just thinking about, busting a nut, going after that, that nut like the squirrel does, So anyway, so there it goes. I had a few Tammys along with a few Ashleys. All this unraveling got me like a soldier at ease. So all this that was happening on the West, I was feeling, this was in the beginning, as you can see, because this track right here was me trying to commercialize a music video. So though I was going through a lot of pain and suffering, I thought about, when I get out, I'm going to make a commercial joint, like a video to post. And this was actually supposed to be a video, but I never did the video. There's a lot of tracks that I'm supposed to do the videos, and I haven't done, which, well, I did want, I got to get into that later. Like I said, this one's called I Wasn't Finished, but I'm still on track 1. So Trip to Cali was basically me in prison talking about when I get out, I'm gonna make a commercial joint about what I went through, but in a way that, that complements the West in a way, but also talks a little shit about it, So that's the first bar, I guess, on that one. Then I say, been to your beaches, shit was a movie. Passing through groovy like who's he? No, I mean, been through your beaches like shit was a movie. Passing through groovy like who's he? Pleased a few booties, felt like my duty. Had a few brewskis, flicked a few loosies. Feeling blessed truly, tasty and juicy. Addictive with beauty, bitches like new sea. So, here I say, been to your beaches, shit was a movie. Like, to me it was a movie because I'm there sticking out and, everything about me is just so colorful, while everybody else is just so bland. But yet I'm in this place, Venus Beach, right? I said Venice. I ain't even just say beaches because I've been to. I went to like 2 other. What is it? What is it called? Santa. There's another beach. I forget the name of it, but I've been to that beach and then I've been to Venice. So anyway, in Venice, right, is like. It's like a movie, man. It's just like you're surrounded by Caucasians. Everything is just like jolly. Everybody's lofty, So I'm passing through groovy, like, and then I'm like, people like, who's he? Because they don't know me. Everybody's like, what the hell? Who's this guy? I never seen them before. And then I'm saying I pleased a few booties. Like I pleased a few asses. I felt like it was my duty, because they was coming on me and shit, and so I had to be as polite as possible. And so I'd say had a few brewskis. Oh, this was around the time I was drinking, it's like we're talking about 6. What are we talking about? 20, yeah, like 6 years ago. We're talking, man, time flies. This was like 6 years ago. Anyway, this was when I used to drink, and so I'm like, because I'm talking about while I'm in prison, I'm talking about the experience I had while I was outside in California, because I think I was more time. I had spent more time in prison than I was outside in California. Yeah. But what happened was I was in San Francisco first, and then I went to LA. So yeah, I was drinking. I'm having sex. I'm drinking brewskis. I say brewskis, just to keep the rhyme going. But I'm talking about beer. Had a few brewskis, flicked a few loosies. So I don't smoke cigarettes, but I know what people call loosies. And at that time I was smoking Black and Miles. But like I said, I'm trying to make it rhyme. Just say beer and a Black and Mile. But I'm saying brewskis, Lucy. So. People get it, I think, people can relate. Anyway, I say, feeling blessed truly, tasty and juicy. I'm feeling like I'm a magnet. I'm attractive because every bitch is on me and every guy is like, yo, who's, everybody's looking at me. So I'm saying I'm addictive with beauty because all these people are eyeballing me, And so I say, bitches like Noose he. I'm not saying who's he. I'm saying bitches like noose he. So bitches are over there like noose him, like throw the noose, like what you do, like cowboys when they're on horses and they got a rope and they just like noose, and they throw it on something to grab it. So I'm saying bitches like noose he, like noose him, like throw the rope and grab him. So again, I'm elongating this thing that I pretty much people, I think, know without me explaining, but let's talk about it. So then I go on with the next verse. I said, went through your boardwalk, got rid of small talk, pushed through with no thought, got hooked with more broad, saying aloha, acting like Omar, like EBT roll-offs, feeling like dope balls, shining like gold bars, stick out like mohawks, radiant aura, bitches just go stalk. So what I'm saying is here, I was on their boardwalk. And their boardwalk is like a street where the sidewalks is full of stars and, actual stars. Like, if you see Bruce Lee got a star, you got to find it, but it's all in there. And every celebrity got a star. So I'm saying I walk through their boardwalk, and usually this is where like people like to try to talk and stuff, but these people felt so strange to me. So I felt so isolated and weird about these people because they're different. The way they talk and the way they approach, just everything. So I just got rid of small talk so that they don't continue on with their, or what I perceive to be like a false identity. So then I say, so I got rid of small talk, and then I say I pushed through with no thought. I pushed through all that, like jail, Cali, San Francisco, all that with no thought. Got hooked to more broads, and still I got hooked. I got women attracted to me, even while trying to be boring and trying to not fit in and trying to not look cool, because it was naturally already there, you know what I mean? So I didn't have to pretend. I was just like, like trying to like not make them like me because I was being liked too much, you know what I mean? And I don't like to be smothered. So I'm saying, I pushed through with no thought and got hooked still, still got hooked. These bitches were still on me, even though I didn't give them much game, I wasn't even throwing game at these bitches, and they was like, damn, I want him, so that's what I'm trying to say right there. Pushed through with no thought, got hooked with more broad, saying aloha, acting for old. So these bitches are like, oh, aloha, like aloha, like the people in Hawaii, and they're acting for me, moi, moi, oh moi. They're acting for oh moi, like me, moi. Like EBT roll-off. So I mentioned EBT because at that time I was using EBTs, Like, damn, I was homeless. I was living on the streets, So EBT was like, was cool, Like, you could go out on dates. You could take girls and use government funds, and you ain't got to worry about spending money because you're not spending it, It's EBT. So that's what I'm saying, like, like EBT roll-off, because it's like dope, man, And then I'm saying, feeling like dope boss. So I'm feeling like a dope boss, shining like gold bars. Pretty self-explanatory. Stick out like mohawks. So I saw a couple of white people out there looking like punk rocks, and they had like this mohawk, and I'm like, let me get, in order to relate with California, because you don't see that shit out here in the East Coast, or not as much as you see it over there. I haven't seen, maybe one time, long time ago, I went to New York and I seen a white guy in fucking mohawk and shit. But like I said, you barely see that shit. Anyway, I saw that shit over there a lot, and I was like, you know what? I stick out like that because this just sticks out, So basically, I'm like, stick out like mohawks, radiant aura, bitches just go stalk. And they like to stalk because they fucking follow. And anyway, then I jumped in the RV. So at one time, I was kicking it to this girl, and she was a stripper. I met her. I was like, yo, what's up? We want to go out, shit like that. And she ended up falling for the kid and wanted me to live with her. But the thing is, she had an RV. She was living in an RV. So I'm now traveling with her. We're traveling together. She has a pickup truck and an RV, attached to the pickup truck. And we're going like, different She's taking me to like resorts. She's taking me, all these nice places and shit. I'm in New Mexico, the city and shit. And I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy. I'm in a resort with the jacuzzis, pools. I'm doing things to her that, I probably anyway. So I'm like, what I said, I jumped up in RVs, strapped up like armies. So I'm strapped, I got a whole lot of tools. I got what, just things, like that self-explanatory. So I'm strapped up like an army, you know what I mean? Stared at the far east, distant at party. So I'm staring in the far wind, like, damn, I wonder how people doing back at home, distant at parties. Like I'm in parties. I'm in parties, sitting on the sofa, watching all these girls dancing, people drinking, smoking, chatting with each other, and just like laughing, all smiling, having a good time. And I'm just like there looking down, serious, because I can't communicate. Like I feel like I'm like I can't relate with nobody, everybody, like, what am I, who am I talking? Like, I don't know. I just felt lost at a certain period where I was just like, I felt distant, what I mean? So I talk about how I was distant at parties, and I ate a few brownies. Like over there, just to see if, I don't know, it didn't do shit to me. Like, I'd rather smoke, but I smoked a few more brownies. And like I said, like Marley, I said, like smoking like Marley, like Rastafari, ignition got car keys. The car had keys, you know what I mean? I was chilling with white girls, like with blonde hair and shit like that. A few black girls, you know what I mean? Like the girl I'm talking about that took me in her arm, she was black, but there were other girls that were like blonde and white. And I'm like, so I'm chilling with Barbies. Like, wow, this is like a movie. Like, saw a movie, man. Like, these are all experiences I went through, you know what I mean? Hearing some hard beats, like I'm listening to beats and shit, feeling so gnarly. I'm trying to talk that white talk and shit, because there's a lot of white people around me. So I keep going. Walk through your boulevard, the floor with all stars. See, now I emphasize. Feeling afar, out of place, bizarre. Still I pushed hard like Rocker's guitar. Like I'm pushing hard like Rocket, like a guitar, Went to a few parks, saw different art. I went to a few different museums and saw their art and stuff like that. Played my own part like Superman and Clark. So I'm like a hero and a journalist, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm both, you know what I mean? And I say flooring the gas, pushing the needle on the dash. Like I'm flooring the gas, self-explanatory. Everything around me now stuck in the past. Like I'm in Cali. I'm like far away from my past. Everything that I come to know. Hey, I'm just crossing the states as I should, pushing weight. Style of the East, accent generates. Absence of the great got me like I can't hesitate. So it's like I'm just crossing the way I rhyme is like I'm speaking. You know what I mean? I try to cut through the codes and the metaphors, and I want you to... I know it's all about metaphors and codes and shit you gotta decipher, which I do on other tracks, but some tracks, I make it like so simple and plain, even a baby could understand, because I try to filter all the BS and get straight to the core of the matter and speak to your heart. You know what I mean? I don't be like, I don't rhyme so that you can be like, oh wait, hit the rewind button. Oh wait, we gotta write that. Oh, let's look it up. What does it mean? Oh, no, it's self-explanatory. So, and then I'm over there, like I come from the East, you know what I mean? Like where hip hop was birthed, so I feel like a king. Like, out here, there's nobody better, you know what I mean? So, got me like I can't hesitate, you know what I mean? To drop in like an earthquake, shaking platonic plates, which actually happened, by the way, while I was over there. There was an earthquake, like 2 earthquakes actually, but I think I felt only one, and I have a feeling that had to do with me at that time. But anyway, so shaking platonic plates got them questioning their fate while they all separate in a state of disgrace. Cause people over there's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of poor-minded people, individuals who don't like to have fortitude or mental toughness. So they're like So they walk around like they have no hope, in a state of disgrace, nasty stuff. So then I keep going. Their country style got me at a distance, pushing with resistance their phony persistence. Self-explanatory, right? Hating that I could expose their addictions to their evil practice renditions. So they're mad because I see how they are, and they have nothing on me. So they mad that I could talk about them, but they can't talk about me. You know what I mean? It's like I understand you, or should I say, a crazy person can understand a sane person, but a sane person cannot understand a crazy person. So I understand them, but they don't understand me. So I keep going. Like that of Sodom and Gomorrah traditions. Self-infliction got them in a weak condition, brain battered like they went through a traumatic collision. So they're over there, they're acting homosexual tendencies, women are disgracing their bodies, men are abusing themselves, there's no dignity, no integrity. So I'm like, damn, they're self-inflicting themselves in a weak condition, brain battered, like they went through a traumatic collision, which pretty much they all went through a traumatic collision and shit. And then I say, mimicking the East, biting the apple like Eve. So I think their downfall happened because they wanted to copy us. And as a result from copying us, they went too extreme and pushed themselves to a state of how do I word it? To a state of no return, man, where it's like, you know what I mean, you messed up, you know what I mean, like you took it too far. I don't know what else to say, shit. And so then I say, mimicking the East, biting the apple like Eve, still dancing to our beat while we long ago put to cease. So yeah, tagging and bragging like that shit is dope to me. Graffiti writing with bubble letters, that shit is old to see. Where's the innovation and creativity that seeps? So I mean, this was, see, now I mentioned a little bit of San Francisco here. Just that little that line was not towards L.A. That bar was towards San Francisco. So I'm saying, mimicking the East, biting the apple like Eve, still dancing to our beat while we long ago put to cease, tagging and bragging like that shit is dope to me. Graffiti writing with bubble letters, that shit is old to see. Where's the innovation and the creativity that seeps? So I'm in Cali, right? And I see that they do a lot of graffiti and shit like that. A lot of tagging and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, they trying to be like us. That's what everybody that's from the East when they go to a place that's not their home, they start thinking like, yo, look, why they trying to be like us and shit like that, or this and that. And you find yourself like you critiquing. I hated that about me sometimes. I used to hate that shit. Like I used to catch myself because I didn't want to be like one of those. Like, oh, like it makes you stick. It makes you sound like a tourist. You know what I mean? Because you're comparing. That means you've been there and you've been here and you know the difference. And I used to hate that I knew about the both to be comparing, because then people would know right away, like, oh wait, so you from New York and shit like that. And so I used to try to hide that shit. Like I didn't want nobody knowing nothing about me. So sometimes I used to be like, see, that's the shit I hate about this state. Like y'all do this and we, you know what I mean? And I used to catch myself. And I was like, damn, I gotta stop, because I don't want to, but that's, like I said, that's like a default, like a self-defense mechanism. I'm sure people from over there, they come over here, they're gonna be, comparing and talking about the differences. So I was doing, like I said, I wasn't there for like a month or two. I was there for like 4 years, and so I used to catch myself like, damn, I gotta stop that. I gotta stop talking about, the differences and shit like that. Cause that shit, like, to me, it was sounding old. Maybe it was new and cool to them, but to me, it was like, man, I gotta stop that shit. Like, I felt like I was a broken record on repeat mode and shit. So anyway, I go on. I say, stuck high in clouds with access to dispensary found. Got 'em elated but dumbed down, blinded by the travesty flowing around. They all submit and forget the state of now. Bent, crooked, and foul. They all act like clowns. Grown man, child stuck in old phase that's out. Self-explanatory. Oh, when I went over there, weed was still illegal in the East Coast, and it was legal in the West. So I was like, I was still kind of paranoid, looking around for cops, like, yo, they're gonna catch me, like, they're like, yo, you could smoke, man, it's not like, yeah, look, and then they're smoking in front of cops and shit, and I'm like, oh shit, all that shit was new to me. So I'm like, oh shit, like, you could smoke, like, you're not gonna get locked up or arrested. So I'm like, all right, okay. So this is the lifestyle. They all could smoke and nothing bad will happen. But the perks of that is cool, a lot of cool shit. But the cons was like, yo, these people are airheads, yo. They don't think. They don't critically think. So I say they got them elated, but they're dumbed down, blinded by the travesty flowing around. They all submit and forget the state of now. Bent, crooked, and foul. They all act like clowns. Grown man, yo. That's the thing. That's the thing I used to notice. At least here, like, I grew up where the older G's would school the younger ones, right? That's how it always was. The older G's would advise. But I found myself when I was in jail over there that the younger ones had more sense than the older guys. So I was like, what the fuck? This shit is backwards. Like, how these old people acting like little kids? They want to fight. They want to start a riot. They want people to jump. They're like little kids wanting to fight and cause trouble. And then the little kids were like, yo, chill. Like, had more sense in them. So I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like, they're backwards. So I'm like, grown man, child stuck in old phase that's out. Because they never grew up. Many hated. Then I continue. I said, many haters repelling my ego swelling, infiltrated in stealth mode excelling, while they be telling where their treasures be dwelling. I'm propelling right through, tripling what they be selling. They trying to bite off my style without my melon. That shit is like having peanut butter without the gelling. Are you smelling what I'm telling? I'm penetrating like hammers be nailing, and they all be welling. So that's the last bar for that track, and I'm saying basically that the state was repelling because my ego was growing. I felt like the shit at one point. I still do, but it's just it was obvious, that they were all on my dick and shit. And I'm like, damn, man, it was just I don't know, maybe it was doing too much, but So I say infiltrated in the stealth mode. So I was hidden in plain sight. I'm a celebrity, famous, from what I've went through and been through, and yet I'm hidden here and nobody knows that. A couple of times fans will come up to me or they pretend to be fans, be like, oh, I saw your video and shit like that. I don't know, I guess they just, my aura maybe looks to them like I'm somebody, like a celebrity and shit. So they was like, oh, I saw your video. And I didn't want to be rude and be like, oh, yeah, which one? Because I know they were lying. But I was like, oh, yeah, thanks. You know what I mean? just to not, like, argue back. But I probably should have said it just to see, like, catch their bullshit. A couple times there was guys holding umbrellas for me. I seen a couple throw people throw rose petals on the floor for me to walk on. I was like, they was treating me like royalty, man. I felt like what's that movie with Eddie Murphy coming back to America, where that actor who recently died, he was in Conan, I think. But anyway, he was in the Coming to America. He comes in like a king, and they're throwing rose petals on the floor. So it reminded me of that scene because they were throwing rose petals for me and treating me like with like such royalty. It felt cool. While they so they're telling me everything about their state. They're telling me where to go, where not to go, what to get, what not to get. I'm learning everything about them without even asking them. They're telling it themselves. Without me asking. And I'm propelling, I'm still pushing, flipping, trying to making money and shit, Then I say, they trying to bite my style without the melon. They trying to bite my style without my brains. And that's like having peanut butter without the jelly. You know, you having milk with no cereal. You know, cornflakes with no. I mean, you know, you get my point. So that's what it's like. It's like you want my style, but you don't want my brain. Like, what the hell is that? Like, you're not gonna get anything. So then I say, are you smelling what I'm detailing? Are you getting what I'm saying? I'm penetrating like hammers be nailing. So, you know, when you hit a nail with a hammer, that's how I'm penetrating, and the nails be all wailing. You know, you hear that sound. So, anyway, that's the first review or elongated talk about track number 1, which is Trip to Cali. Damn, I took 30 minutes just for that. I might have to let's just keep going. Fuck. Track 2, Force. The Force. Okay, so in the Force, I say, my tongue is like a sword that cuts and hurts, a golden tongue that gives to serve the world for sure. Put in motion all the things of dirt from earth. Not many handle it and suffer curse or worse. But lately I've been feeling blessed with words, cause they all know and speak but don't display it. The Holy Ghost in me, they wish to tame it, which host and teach and well portrays it. But they ignore and don't believe and just forsake it for a lack of will to close on in and just partake it. So this is more of a more deep, you know, heartfelt. Actually, I wrote summaries on it, on each of in one of every one of these on my website. I wrote an article. Just look for the third quarter album review. You know, and the article is just recent. So, yeah, in there I'm just like you know, I talk about brief summaries of each track, and then, you know, me telling you of what I'm saying right now. So I keep going. I say, their ways operate according to my brains. Yo, I was having power with my pen because everything that I wrote while I was in prison was happening, was unfolding. It was like I was prophesizing things, and it was unfolding before me. So at one point, I remember I was like, damn, I was a little afraid of writing, because I used to write, right? And immediately what I wrote would happen. And I was like, you know, it just made me more conscious of how I should write, because I'm like, damn, I don't want this shit coming back to me where I get hurt or some shit. So I was just more conscious. But yeah, man, there was times where I was like, damn, that what I wrote is, and I'm not, and this is me before verbally expressing it out loud. This is just me in my cell writing. Boom, I would see, because I'm sitting there observing. That's all you could do. And let's say I put LZ is gonna have peanut butter today with juice. I'm writing it down. This is an example. I write that down, like, this is, and I don't, you don't control, because the cops over there, they control everything. You know, they bring you what they want. And so I'm writing these things down, and it was happening. That's just an example. So when I would speak violent or something, someone would get hurt. When I would speak about death, someone would, you know what I mean, like, someone would die and shit. One time, I think I'll save that for the movie, man. But I'm locked up in prison in Dominican Republic, and I put somebody in the ground, man, just by thinking about it, you know. But yeah, so that's just, I'll save that for another time. That's just off subject. So anyway, I get back into this. I say, slave. When I'm enraged, nature comes out and slays. Put many out there in the wrong, down in the grave. So again, this is me telling you the power of my words. Like, when I'm mad, and let's say if I was to write it down, nature takes care of everything, because everything that I was writing down, if it's in a state of frustration or anger, it's gonna make sure that my words didn't go unfelt, you know. So I'm like, damn, these words are becoming weird. So it's just the time. Like I said, at that time I was reading the scriptures, so things are getting like, you know, deep. I'm like really into this shit, and so people like I felt like I had a control on the consciousness of people's behaviors, which I did. A couple times, because they didn't know how to process me. They didn't know how to process me, right? And because of that, the whole system, like I remember one time in a dorm, they had to clear a whole dorm out, a facility, and transfer all the inmates to another prison, just because the current one was malfunction. Like I think my writing at those points were spells, because the spells that I was putting in that prison, in those cells, was so strong that it was messing up their whole system. You know what I mean? Alarms started going off, you know, dorm, like things started just malfunctioning, and it was just like, yeah, that's my Zog, you know, doing my work and shit. So I go on. I got them closer to the Bible with a fervor, but my intention is to separate them further, speed up the process of them moving like a turtle. Still many zealots out there who want a stupid murder. With no interpreters, they read and go in circles. So I'm saying right here, like my words has got them all wanting to read the scriptures, because I'm speaking with conviction. I'm speaking in a way that they're like, yo, that's the truth. So now you see other inmates all want to read the Bible. You're like, first of all, I was like, I picked up that habit a long time ago, you know, when I first got locked up in a county, but here in Jersey. But yeah, man, I grew up like, you know, with Christian parents and shit. I don't consider myself religious now. I'm more spiritual, but I grew up reading the Bible. So a lot of times, to avoid a lot of shit, I would just read the scriptures, man. And then people would see that, yo, nobody messed with me, because they were annoyed at the same time, because people get annoyed when they see somebody reading the Bible. And so on purpose, I would read it. You know what I mean? Like I would be with a book just to get people annoyed, because I know that they hate that, you know, like demons, you know what I mean? The demons, you could see that they don't like light. So I used to be the light, you know what I mean? And then little by little, it takes care of itself. The COs end up transferring me because inmates can't handle my light. People start trying to copy me reading the Bible, but, you know, they're hypocrites. They're not really sticking to the words. So I say my intention is to separate them further, because I don't want them reading the Bible the way they're reading the Bible just to copy me. I want them to learn the messages within the Bible. So that's why I'm like, my intention is to separate them further, speed up the process of them moving like a turtle, speed up the process of them moving like a turtle into spiritual beings quicker, like a rabbit, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. That says, what am I? Still many zealots out there want a stupid murder. So I like, even still, there's still fanatics who are religious, but they you know, they stoop to a murder and everything that doesn't represent the scriptures. With no interpreters, they read and go in circles. I think this is self-explanatory. I don't even think I should, you know, like I said, I'm just trying to prolong this. I can only do 2 tracks. God damn, there's only 40 minutes already. I'm only 2 tracks, and there's like 8 more left. So yeah, I'm gonna just stick with the first 2 for now, and then or you know what? I'll do these in parts. Anyway, so then I keep going. Their hearts is callous, eyes is shut and ears are closed. Moving with malice, going nuts without a hope. Their status sucks, not worth too much and brought down low. Even when lavish, they get stuck into their words. Believe in fallacy and fake, they trust and sell their souls. So I'm like, their hearts is callous, eyes is shut and ears are closed. They don't receive the information. Moving with malice, going nuts without a hope. So, they're in this destructive path without hope, without faith. Status sucks, not worth too much, and brought down low. They're, even when lavished, they get stuck into the woes. So even when they have stuff, even when they have money, they still stuck with their poor tendencies, believe in fallacies and fake. They trust, they sell their souls. So they believe in a false appearance, and they sell their souls because they think this thing is true. And I keep going. Repeating errors of the past, they never evolve. Seeking my life because they feel the false. Repeating errors of the past that never evolved. Seeking my life because they feel false and want to gloss. They try to mimic to their own loss and fear their flaws. Hating my cause because they can never be the God. Don't hate, congratulate, and watch the moves I boss. Repeating errors, same shit, They want my life, they want my spirit, my brain, but without the jelly, they want to mimic, but to their own flaws because they can't get it right, Hating my cause because they can never be me, Don't hate, congratulate, watch the moves that I boss. Been fighting demons all my life, even in paradise. Ordained before I arrived, my parents' lives, no lie. Been persecuted and hunted for speaking truly wise. Had to come down and stagger like drunken guys at times. Still they wonder who I am when they get to thinking of my kind. So here I'm talking about my state before I came to this earth. I remember I've talked to this series a couple of times on episodes, I forget which one, maybe on Instagram, but I've mentioned times where I'm like, before I chose my parents, where I say I chose my parents, I chose my mom, my father, before I came into, before she got pregnant and came into this world. I was already there. I was already existing in another world where I was fighting demons. Then I signed up to come to Earth and chose my parents, put words in their mouth and made them give me my name. So I'm saying been persecuted and hunted for speaking truly wise. All my life I've been persecuted for speaking my truth. You know what I mean? A couple of times I would fire my public defender and represent myself. I would lose, of course, but I would have the heart to fire him on the spot and be like, no, I'm going to represent myself. This guy wasn't for me. He's a joke. He's a pretender. And the judge, was like, all right, man, go ahead, and then I represent myself. So then I go in a different state. I had to marinate like wine and steaks. They go back insane and build a crave they cannot shake and lose their taste in the real haste because they cannot wait. But blessed and saved are those who will endure for my name's sake, for your inherited real place they cannot take. So here I'm saying I had to spread. I had to spread their state. I had to spread throughout this state like wine and steaks, when you marinate it, it spreads. But they go back insane and build a crave. So I'm in a state where I had to marinate like wine and steaks. I had to spread, but I'm not going back to the center. You know what I mean? I'm still pushing forward. So I'm saying they go back insane and build a crave they cannot shake. So they go back for more of that wine in the steaks. You know what I mean? They go back for their addictions. But blessed and saved are those who will endure for my name's sake. Blessed and saved are those who don't go back for that addiction. For your inherited real place, they cannot take, which is your sobriety, your wholeness, your dignity, your integrity, and basically that's what I'm saying in that track. So now, track 3, called Press Play. Wow, man, 44 minutes. I didn't think it was going to take this long. Alright, I'm going to pause this and come back. I'm already thirsty, man. Shit. Alright, yeah, I'll holler.